Hi, my name is Chris Durham. Welcome to another episode of Drinks from Eddie Muller's Noir Bar. Each week I take a chapter from the book Eddie Muller's Noir Bar, Cocktails Inspired by the World of Film Noir, and I talk about the film in that chapter and I make the drink associated with it. Today we are going to be looking at a film and drink of the same name, The Specter of the Rose. Now, this was released in 1946. It was written, directed, and produced by Ben Hecht. Now, Ben Hecht is probably known more as a writer than a director. I think he only directed about 7 films. But he started out as a crime reporter in Chicago and a playwright. He wrote the play The Front Page, and he moved to Hollywood in the late 20s and became one of the most in-demand screenwriters in the business in the 30s and into the 40s. Much better known as a writer than a director. But this is kind of a wild film, and you kind of got to give him credit for that. The story is kind of it's a film noir version of The Red Shoes. But instead of it being about trying to balance your life between having a personal life and artistic integrity, you just kind of substitute in batshit crazy, and that's where you get The Specter of the Rose. It's kind of hard to say that it's like a film noir version of The Red Shoes, because it did actually come out before The Red Shoes, but I'm not going to worry about that too much because it's actually a pretty fitting analogy. So the story is there's a ballet company, and the ballet company is kind of floundering, and the main reason it's floundering is that its main dancer may or may not have killed his wife during a performance. She died on stage during a performance. She had a weak heart. She definitely died of a heart attack, but there's indications that he drove her to it. He's also racked with guilt about the death of his wife and actually kind of going crazy because of that. It turns out this all happened probably 2 or 3 years before the start of the movie. When the movie starts, they come to approach him about whether he's ready to start dancing again. He has been keeping in shape and training, and the main ballerina at the company comes over to his house to meet with him, and they start dancing and quickly fall in love and end up getting married and performing the same ballet that his wife died in. And there's stuff going on. I mean, he's having flashbacks about it. He's kind of going crazy. Is he going to... What happened to the first wife? Is he going to actually do the same thing to the woman he's dancing with now? That's kind of what the whole movie revolves around. Not a lot of people in the cast that you would know. The two main stars were Viola Essen and Ivan Kirov, who only made this one movie. They were real ballet dancers, and actually the dancing scenes are spectacular. Not quite as spectacular as The Red Shoes, but there's a lot of craziness going on, and that makes up for a whole lot there. The only 2 people I really knew in the film were Judith Anderson, who plays the choreographer for the dance company. She was in Rebecca. She played Rebecca's maid, who was always kind of fondling Rebecca's underwear in that movie. And then you have Lionel Stander, who was a character actor, had a very kind of East Coast tough persona. He was in... main thing I always think of with him is 2 things. He was in Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. He played the publicist for Deeds that was always kind of trying to keep him out of trouble. Very tough newspaper type of guy. And then he also had a role in the TV show in the 70s, Heart to Heart, and he played Stephanie Powers and Robert Wagner's manservant in that movie for a lot, or in that TV show for a lot of years. It's a fun movie. It's kind of off the rails crazy, and that's kind of what makes it great. And I'm not going to say very much more about it, but it has this energy. The dancing is very good, and the craziness is amazingly good. So I'm going to definitely call this movie something you really should go try to see if you get a chance to. The drink, the Specter of the Rose. Now this is one that Eddie Muller made up for in tribute to this movie. It's a combination of a very traditional American spirit, bourbon, and some some European ingredients. So we'll be making that when we get back. I hope you stick around for that. And we are back. So we're going to be making the Specter of the Rose, which was an Eddie Muller creation for this movie. It's a stirred drink, so we're going to start by loading up our stirring glass with some ice. And a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Now, this drink calls for 4 Roses bourbon. I ended up getting 4 Roses small batch in a airline size because I already have a lot of bourbon, so I didn't want to necessarily go out and buy another bottle of bourbon when I still have bourbon around. So that is 1 ounce, and then we calls for 2 ounces, and we're coming up just a little bit shy. So I am going to take this other bourbon I have and substitute that in for probably about another 1/8 of an ounce or so to make up for the deficit on the little airline bottle. And then we have a liqueur Amaro Nardini. Now, this book has asked me to buy a whole bunch of different liqueurs. This is one I really like. It's got kind of a chocolatey flavor. It really goes well with bourbon, so I'm thinking this one's probably going to be a good drink. Boozy, but good. So we're going to do a 1/2 ounce of the Amaro Nardini. Okay, and then we've got Fernet Branca, which I think is a fortified wine, if I'm not mistaken. And that one, we are going to be doing a 1/4 of an ounce. By the way, this would be, if I'm not mistaken, my 45th drink. So I'm getting close to the end of the book. Let's see. Oh, and then it says Peychaud's Bitter. So I'm going to go, I think, two dashes. 2. We'll call that good. And then we're going to give it a stir. Okay. I'm not doing a real good job with the stir. The thing with the stir is that you're mostly just trying to move the ice around in the stirring glass and not necessarily jostle it a lot. And I seem to be jostling it a lot here, but it'll be fine. Let me give it a little bit longer. I'm starting to feel that the outside of the stirring glass is starting to chill to my fingers, so that means it's getting a good chill in the booze inside. Okay, and then we're gonna strain into a chilled coupe glass. And okay, and for a garnish, it calls for an orange peel garnish. So I'm gonna kind of slice, hopefully a good sized orange peel. And I'm going to kind of squeeze it over the top to get the oils from the orange peel into the glass, and then wrap it around, and then I think I'm just going to set it in the glass that way. And we have the Specter of the Rose. Ooh, that's really nice. It's definitely on the boozy side. I mean, you can definitely tell there's some alcohol in here. But you're getting hints of that kind of chocolatey flavor from the Marinardini. It's really nicely done. So we're going to call this one a winner. So from a booth in the back of Eddie Muller's Noir Bar, we're going to raise our glass on the Specter of the Rose, an Eddie Muller original, and we're going to say cheers. Cheers. Hope you join me next time.